not only interesting, but also wonderful story. Fatima and Christina. First, please subscribe our channel in more videos. Thanks. Now start story and learn English practice. After reading her autobiography, I tried to understand her. If she looks like such a beautiful young lady at this age, then 15 years ago she was truly one of the most beautiful creations of Allah. Allah made her and then spoiled her. Why spoil such a beautiful creation? Breaking the law of Allah? Who can? As Allah made her beautiful, Allah gave her a white blank paper to write her life. Today she is tearing the white blank paper given by Allah and writing own life history. What she expend? She was Fatima Begum, which I knew from many years ago. I had reached Bengal to know Fatima Begum closely. She was walking a dog in the open land in front of her house. As soon as she saw me, Fatima did not try to pull off the burqa, but her burqa got tangled in the gold she brought to her ears. Seeing her repeatedly trying to remove the veil of the burqa and failing, I said to Fatima, "Fatima, does your burqa not allow you to hear the screams outside?" "Whose voice?" she asked me. "Didn't you hear the loud noise of outside?" Her face, which had been covered by a burqa, was open. I looked at her face for a moment. Her lips were resisting past kisses. There was a sadness looking for something new. Now she did not make a second attempt to pull the burqa and said in an angry expression, "That voice has no meaning." In other words, the protest that is taking place on the street to educate the daughter and save the daughter is false? I asked her. True. Absolutely true. But sir, those countless people who are joining in that rally are all creations of Allah. And what happened? I asked. For those who believe that Allah has created two heavens in Islam. For those who hear the loud noises from outside and feel the bliss of heaven. Those who sit on the worthy are used it. They get drunk when they hear the loud noises of processions. Hey! Why are you talking like this? Hasn't it been decreed by Islam? She put the dog in the cage and washed her hands and went inside. I started to look outside. The procession outside was getting more and more dangerous. The entire city was covered with smoke and road dust as if it was covered with clouds. Fatima came with 2 cups of coffee on the tray while answering my question. She started saying, Allah created 2 races, women and men. In these 2 races, men made women subordinate and began to exploit them. Men began to use women only for beautiness and sex. For this reason, after the arrival of Islam, women were sold to Greek At that time Islam called upon Allah to save the women who were sold with the Greeks. But the Greek were countered. All women are beautiful as a beautiful tree. But if you eat it, you must die, because the tree is poisonous. Her face without a burqa showed a face that had become accustomed to the burqa. She was feeling that she was being reminded by the burqa. I thought that this feeling was of two types. She is in danger of both right and wrong decisions. I again asked her to finish her story. Then what happened? After that, now someone comes here. The smell of alcohol rises from his breath and he comes closer to Allah's beautiful creation. She reached at the door and closed. She became a little unstable. I wanted to understand and said ghost. No. A ghost maker. It's not safe for you to stay here. He is the watchman of those people who are sitting in earth heaven. He can turn you into a ghost at will. And me too. In this sentence of Fatima, her face looking likely the pre-Islamic dream was alive till now. And yet I found her to think I was a man. At this time I want to help her. But I am so poor by the power, when in fact I was not of that ability. Fatima was desperate. Like an abandoned native son among Hindus. Like me, of course. Before entering the door of that person, I said to Fatima, Fatima, believe me or not, it's your happiness. Just tell me, which happiness will make you happy and happy your life? I am ready to do anything for your happiness. That's it, sir. Thank you. That's all for me. Fatima got up suddenly and turned towards me, pulling the curtain of the door and said, Sir, you run away through the back door. You go somewhere far away. Otherwise, that person will turn me into a ghost along with you. Leaving Fatima. This is how I came to Christina. The beauty of this lake also needs tourists. Oh, I understand. This creation of God requires man to live as man. God's law cannot be broken. My dear, I tell you the story of my life, listen to me. Priest of Jijish believe that men do not look at the beauty of a woman like a wild animal, but that the devil lives inside that beautiful women. A very unjustic view. Being a follower of Christ, it was appropriate for the priests to say, was it not cruel injustice to marry? Christina crawled onto the cool grass by the lake and sat down beside me and said, Dear, did you ever hear that the Englishmen sold their wives? I shook my head. No. It was only 200 years ago. The price of an Englishman's wife was £6. The English made a law that they could sell their wives for £6. Maybe I was born at that time. But how could I be called a wife? Who bought me for £6 after sold by an Englishman? It would have hurt. There was no doubt on Christina's face. She was smiling like a rose with a smile and happiness. I tried to change the subject. The story now? I came to Nepal in a package. She was completely attached to me. The touch of her body had no effect on me. We reached Pokhara after meeting in Pashupati area of Kathmandu. There was some change in Christina's consciousness towards religion. Although she says she belongs to Jijash. Now she praises the gods and goddesses of the Hindus and said she is a devotee of Lord Shiva. I want to know about Hitur, she said. Are you the best student of any university or a researcher of tourism? No, no. Nothing like that. So what? As the thought of the Jijash priest. You mean you came as a sex girl? Her hands suddenly lit up. Moved towards my face again with loving gentleness and gently touched chin with her fingers and said, Wow! I came from a small town to win Miss World. The owner of a rich company asked me to be a competitor in the beauty pageant. And he paid all the expenses. This journey is also due to His grace. I said, religion has not ruined women. Hinduism has given high respect to women. Knowledge, wisdom, wealth, power are all believed in women. But in the same society, each capable man collect hundreds of wives. She was not even allowed to live according to her will. Along with the death of men, they were burnt alive on pyres. Thus, women are deprived of all religion, country, and power. She looked as she was afraid of something. I am falling in love with Fatima. Many struggles she has done. I am also afraid of that person. How cruel that person was. And how many people were deaf by that cruel man in Ukraine war. It was almost evening. I got up and called a taxi. Christina was trying to tell me something and I was also suffering from aloneness. Sitting in the taxi, she told me goodbye. We were looking each other for a while. At a moment, she in the taxi was gone far away from my eyes. Thanks for watching story. Please subscribe our channel and more stories.